It's always nice to know that there are other people that are just like you out there. But you're not alone. If everybody was the same, which is basically what a lot of people like to think you could do, this world would be a very dull and boring place to live. My name is Bethania Evanstar, and this is my video out. I'm probably around 7 or 8. I didn't actually know what I was or what it was. I just knew that I wasn't like everybody else. Back in the 60s, though, that was not a good place to be. I knew that I didn't like doing what the boys did, and I didn't like actually playing with the boys, you know, but I did it anyway because I had basically brothers at that time, till 6 years after I got a sister. I did get to play with her Barbies and dolls, you know. That I remember well. I enjoyed those times growing up with playing with the dolls and stuff. Well, I would dress up and buy clothes and live that way for, in private. I would dress up and, be what I felt like I should be, and then I would look back and say, no, I've got this because society says you have a penis, so you're a boy, and everybody says boys don't do this, and that, being queer or gay or whatever is wrong. And so I'd quit and I'd get rid of everything. Then it'd last about, 6 months to a year, and then I'd start buying clothes and dressing up. That went on till I was 58. And at that point in time, I was just more interested in dying. And then I said, well, if I do, I won't ever get the chance to see what it would be like to actually live. So I started transitioning, which wasn't the easiest thing to do in your life, but it sure did. Sure is a lot more fun to live now than it was then. I feel real good. Oh, that would be my youngest daughter. Well, I'd actually know that would be a therapist in California. Well, I was, doing the typical video thing on the internet, trying to see, and looking at transgender people, both men and women, listening to their stories and looking at their videos, and it's like, yeah, okay. I was going through some difficult times and ended up homeless and back at home with my mother at my mother's house, which is unfortunately still the situation I'm in. And I found this ad for this lady out in California who's a therapist. And I called her up. And we got together and got onto a video meeting and talked, and she asked me all these wonderful questions, and we kept going, and then I started, seeing her regularly, like about every other week or every week, and sometimes twice a week. And then I started actually dressing more and actually not hiding it as much. My daughter came in one day while right after I got off the internet conference with my therapist in California. She started asking me some questions about, like why was I wearing makeup and stuff. And I just basically said, well, okay, I guess it's time to start the ball rolling and, start living and you can't hide everything. So I told her, I says, well, sit down, I need to talk to you. And she did, and I looked at her and I said, well, I'm transgender and I'm going to start transitioning. She scratched her head. She says, you mean like sex change and everything? And I said, yes, like sex change and everything. She looked at me for another couple of seconds and then she said, wow, that makes sense. I did some research and I found the MCC church here because that was the LGBTQ church. And they were supposed to have information about, transgender people. So I went by like 3 Sundays in a row and I drove by and parked out front and looked, I was too scared to go in. On the 4th one I just said, screw it, it's, you're either going to do this or you're not. So I walked in and they gave me information to see this person named Sandra Dunn. I called her and we met at the coffee house and talked. And I got into the group at the Amarillo Area Transgender Support Group, which was kind of interesting because, I at that time had really not met any other transgender people except that I went for Sandra and I met her. And I walked in and I was the only girl in the building. There's like 7 or 8 trans men in there and I'm going, am I in the right place? Where's the girls? I stayed and it was, they're good people. I liked them. They're kind of became my second family. You don't have to be genetically related to somebody to have them as a family. To be myself. To actually live as I think and feel inside. Is it easy? No. There are a lot of things in society that say that is not correct, but I have to decide what's correct for me. That one's, there's a lot of those. Living as a woman and developing as one. If I had surgery, I would be fantastic, but I'm working on that. That's everybody's a work in progress. Make peace with yourself and decide who you are. Because you gotta be you. Don't live a lie. It's depressing.